All right, America, welcome back. We've got an interesting race ahead of us in Florida. Yep, open House seat, Matt Gaetz' House seat in Florida. And joining us now, the entrepreneur, the host of Grassroots Truthcast podcast, which is a really fun podcast, and one of the candidates for Congress for that seat. He is our good friend, Gene Valentino. Gene, good to have you on the show.
Hi, John, Amanda. Great to be with you.
All right, you've lived in this district a long time. I don't think a lot of people thought a year ago, hey, this would be an open seat, but it is. Tell us why you jumped in. What's the sentiments in the district right now?
Well, thank you for having me. I didn't think it was going to be open, and it wasn't a topic of a priority a year ago when Matt Gaetz was going for Attorney General and then backed out altogether. The seat became a special election, which is coming up on short order, January 28th. There's about 8 to 10 Republicans in the race. So the Republican primary is key. It's 7 to 1, 8 to 1 Republican over Democrat in this panhandle. Yeah. This is Florida District number 1, which is referred to as the panhandle from the Alabama border on the west over to Panama City.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful area of the country. I know you've lived there 35 years. Tell us about your engagement in the community, because I would imagine after nearly 4 decades, you've got relationships with a lot of people there.
Well, we came to town on business. We had several companies. We've hired thousands of people in different niche businesses we've created, and we were contributors in the community. The community asked me to step up and run for county commissioner. I did. So for 2 terms, 8 years, I was your county commissioner here in Escambia County, Florida. The main seat is Pensacola in Escambia, but there's 3 counties to the east of Escambia: Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and Walton. And when I was commissioner, we did a lot of infrastructure projects. Senator Rick Scott was Governor Rick Scott at the time. We collaborated well in getting capital dollars in place for roads and bridges. And the biggest thing, economic development, and even bigger, the locals who want to make sure the beaches stay protected, pristine, and unharmed by urban blight, as they say. So we're going to do that. We're going to help protect Donald Trump's backside, support his MAGA agenda, absolutely, without equivocation. And at the same time, we're going to focus on some local issues. The big one locally here in the area, you asked, happens to be the veterans. We've got 5, 6 different military establishments in this panhandle people don't realize, trillions of dollars of American assets. And the veteran needs some help. He needs to be nourished, re-injected into the process of helping to bring in more new enlistees and people into the military armed services with pride and honor and dignity, and not walk away from it demoralized. The Veterans Hospital, therefore, is at the top of my list to be expanded as a full 24/7 hospital medical system.
Yeah, pretty important in that region of the country, for sure. Gene, there was the report released on Matt Gaetz last week. We saw the reaction in Washington, but sometimes it's hard to gauge a reaction back home. Tell us how people in the district reacted to. Where are their minds on? What are they focused on?
Well, a lot of people, there's misgivings. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? I mean, Donald Trump could not have asked for a more loyal person watching his backside. Matt Gaetz fell on the sword for Donald Trump on more than one occasion, and I'm proud of Matt Gaetz with that. Where I differ from Matt Gaetz is that, let's just say I know when to use the feather and I know when to use the chainsaw. And the problem is you don't need the chainsaw all the time. Matt Gaetz was an avid, loyal supporter of Donald Trump, as I plan to be. But there's many things that are needed back here in the district that have gone unnoticed and unaddressed over the decade, and I plan to step in and do something about it.
Great.
Gene, before we let you go, I know you have a heart for veterans, and this is an area that has a very high concentration of our country's service members. And I know you draw a direct connection between the treatment of our veterans and military recruitment. Tell us about that.
So important.
Yeah, that to me, I think you want the best salesman for the United States military? It's the veteran. The veteran who, I'm not talking about the veteran who was spat upon during the Vietnam era, coming off the airplane by the Jane Fondas of the world. I'm talking about the veteran who died for this country, and those guys need to feel that they are the best inspiration for the next generation of military enlistees. The military recruitment plan should have a funding mechanism in place to put the veteran at the top of the list, take them out of tent city, take them out of the alcohol and drug rehab clinics, and gentrify them back into the community, part and parcel of a recruitment enlistment strategy to bring in a whole new generation of enlistees. That's how you address the military. That's how you set it up for future success.
Yeah, Gene, I couldn't agree more with you. When I'm in a group full of young people, I ask them, how many are considered going into the military? Much fewer hands than any other generation in my lifetime. And they always say, then I say, well, why aren't you? And they're like, we're worried about the way the last generation of soldiers have been treated. You fix that, you fix recruiting in a big way. It's a brilliant idea you have.
Well,
there.
it's already turned. Donald Trump has just because he's coming back on board, enlistments are back up. So we're all excited about that.
Yeah, it's a big moment.
22 suicides per day.
Yeah.
That needs to change.
That's unacceptable in this great country. Real quickly, Gene, how do people get to your campaign if they want to support you?
Oh, thank you, sir. At www.valentinoforcongress.com. That's Valentino, FOR, Congress.com. There you can contribute if you'd like. You'll also get more detail on what we did not talk about, and that's how we plan to protect Donald Trump's MAGA agenda, which was the dictate of the nation. They want him back to execute on that agenda. I'll be watching his backside.
We know you got a busy start to the new year, but we want to wish you a happy new year nonetheless. Gene, thanks for joining us. Good to have you on tonight.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, real honored to have you on. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. You know Donald Trump wants to make America healthy again. We want to help in that process. We got a great conversation around the corner right after these messages.